What song?
You haven't watched hasn't been on football when you're watching it, and they have the like people at the bar. They're like, "When the sea captain rose in the trombone da, when when you want to drink, tell her more, tell her more, tell her more."
No.
I sipped it.
Savor it.
I didn't
You
chug
only
it.
have one shot.
I only.
The entire
I
show.
usually always chug it, but I didn't.
Well, the last time we almost fucking died.
It was. I remember.
I know.
I mean, I vaguely remember
I
that we
laughed
did
really
that.
hard when we watched the episode back again.
It's true. Well, hello everyone that's celebrating dry January but only having drinks when their significant other's not looking. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Drunk and Demonic. I am your host who's always here, Jamie.
And I'm usually always here too. My name
Yeah,
is Peter.
I'm not sure why I worded it like that. Like
I roll with it, man.
we're both here all the time. Well, on this episode, we are going to have a little fun and playful thing where we go over our top 5 horror. Should we say horror?
Horror.
Or top 5 things related to this podcast that we watched.
I think horror.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
the most
unless
part.
you have something that's not related to horror,
I may.
I would say that I think that thrillers
Ooh.
count.
Okay.
If you're stepping outside the bounds of that, I don't know if it's allowed. I guess at any point, if we disagree with the pick that it shouldn't even be allowed into the competition, we do have to scream and yell as loud as possible and bang on the table. Okay?
Well, we decided earlier before we recorded that neither of us could choose Inside Out 2, correct? Because we decided that even though that was a banger, it was not going to be part of the horror.
I don't remember that conversation.
Oh, I made that all up right now.
So we can't use Inside Out 2?
No, you can't use Inside Out 2. I know you like it.
It honestly is one of the best movies of the year.
I've never seen it. I still haven't seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, I watched Wild Robot. That one was good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I've heard it's really
I
good.
cried like a baby. You little bitch. I'm a little bitch. And I cried because it's really good.
That's okay. I cried it Inside Out too. Well, hockey player, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen it still.
And teenager, I can relate.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it, so I don't know.
One.
All these things you keep talking about, I don't know. So
I can't relate to being a robot.
Me neither.
My movie wins.
Congrats. Empty space. Well, leading into it, when we're usually going to sponsors, well, we don't have it. We're just drinking.
Yeah, we got Pacifico. We're pretty.
She's always
basic
there.
today.
She's always there.
Always there when you need her.
Pacifico
The
and
pretty
Jameson.
much always there when you need her too. We're sipping on some Jameson tonight because that's what we do.
Good one. It was very clever what you said.
What?
I know. I thought I was just giving you a compliment. I thought
I mean, it would work better if it was Tullamore Dew.
Oh,
Man, they should make that like a slogan for them. It's what we do.
It's what we do. Tell them where to do.
Like Tullamore Dew. It's
Yeah.
do.
Let me get. Set that song.
What song?
You haven't watched hasn't been on football when you're watching it, and they have the like people at the bar. They're like, "When the sea captain rose in the trombone da, when when you want to drink, tell her more, tell her more, tell her more."
No, I've not seen this.
Yeah.
Is this real?
Yeah, why would I make that up? I'm not sure.
You're smart enough to try to trick me to think that you just made an entire song up that's never existed, and now I think it's a huge commercial.
Yeah, I have tricked you before, tons of times.
You try to trick me all the time. You never once got me though.
Yeah, right. I always get you just pretending. All right, so we went through our good old sponsors.
Yep.
Where do we go from here?
We're going straight to Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth.
Yep.
Motherfucker. Sounds good.
All right.
Why don't you start? Because I'm still fumbling what I want to talk about.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just roll right into it.
Yeah.
My Hell on Earth case is going to be covering James Craig, also known as the poisoning dentist, out of Denver, Colorado here.
I feel like I've heard this. Yeah.
Yep. This is something that's been around before.
Okay, cool.
I think we've maybe even talked about it. All right, so James Craig was a successful dentist in Aurora, Colorado, and he was seemingly a devoted husband and father. Angela Craig, who was his wife of over 20 years, was also known as a loving mother and a vibrant presence in her community. They were described outwardly as having a perfect life, a thriving dental practice, 6 fucking children, and a strong family image.
That's how many kids you're going to have, right? It's like,
I don't think so. I'm not planning on that.
oh, I think you found out that you can't have kids, right?
Yeah.
Because you're a dude.
But you never know. Can't have any.
Carry on.
That's really funny. I didn't get where you were going.
They called you a lady. Called you a lady. Go on.
All right. In March 2023, Angela starts feeling unwell with symptoms like dizziness, nausea, and fatigue. She is admitted to the hospital several times over the course of the next few weeks, and doctors can't determine what the cause of her condition is. The family grows increasingly concerned as Angela's symptoms increasingly worsen. On March 18th, Angela is finally hospitalized and slips into a coma, eventually passing away. Doctors remain puzzled but suspect foul play, leading to them calling for an autopsy and a toxicology screening. Police launch an investigation after toxicology reports reveal Angela was poisoned with potassium cyanide and other substances. So not just one thing. There was like a couple other fucking substances that they found that were like, oh, that's super suspicious. So there's some key evidence that comes to light right after this. Investigators discover that James purchased cyanide and other toxins online, claiming it was for professional use through his dental practice. This information about the cyanide was actually revealed to police by one of his employees at the dentist's office, which to me kind of signifies that, like, James is already a piece of shit because even his employees are like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. He ordered cyanide here. He did it.
Is that how it went down?
I am imagining that's how it went down.
That they just told on him? Like, yeah.
One of the dentist assistants. I don't know what. It's not a nurse.
It's a dental assistant. You were right.
Sick, dude.
I'm assuming this is after they found her dead.
Okay, so she has already died.
I know. Then they were like, wait.
Toxicology reports, because they're like, we don't know why this chick is sick. We have to do a toxicology report after her death. Then they find that she has like abnormal amounts of potassium cyanide and these other like fairly poisonous substances.
I know, but I was saying, what I was meaning was the people that work for him at the dental practice were probably like, when they started fessing up, when they were like, oh, his wife died of cyanide, and they're like, wait a second.
Wait a minute, didn't I get a big old package of that?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting.
That's kind of how this actually did play out. It was revealed it was like published in the newspaper that there was a toxicology report that came out that said that she had poisoned with potassium cyanide. And this dude that worked at the office was like, called the police immediately, was like, oh yeah, so like weirdly, I got a package that was like addressed to him that didn't go to his house. It actually came to the dentist office here. And he just told me to like file it away in this back room and that he was going to deal with it, but we don't use that because it's just actual poison.
See, why didn't you say that earlier?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. You're like, I don't know why they hated him. That's why.
Well, they also like obviously didn't like him.
Yeah, he sounds like a dick.
Shit, allegedly, piece of shit. He has not gone to court yet. So there's also suspicious emails between James and a potential lover that he met at a dental conference, saying how he wants to leave his wife and kids to be with her. Granted, they had only met like a few months before and had gone on 3 dates. So really, he's a fast mover.
Yeah,
he's moving on quick.
That'll happen, especially at his age.
He also has emails that are inquiring about how detectable and how traceable potassium cyanide is in a toxicology report. So I don't know who he was exactly emailing. My guess is they gave him pretty bad information because he definitely it showed up immediately of like, oh yeah, this chick got poisoned to shit by potassium cyanide. And then the last thing is that James also had searched on his own personal computer and phone undetectable poisons and their effect. Potassium cyanide was on the list, which is somewhat strange considering that she definitely it showed up in the toxicology report. So anyways, like we mentioned, James is pretty much arrested on March 19th, which is the day after his wife dies. They also find significant evidence that he was in financial debt and was about to lose the dental practice that he had spent 20 years working on. Police cite overwhelming evidence of premeditation, including purchases, searches, and communications with the mistress as reasons for his arrest. So all of this is the original case about the wife's death. He is now facing more charges because he has done some of the craziest shit I've ever heard of in jail. He has tried to hire a person in jail to contact someone that's outside of jail to kill the lead investigator on his wife's case. Okay, so like totally normal things, right? That does come from a prison informant, so maybe there's some like fudging of the truth there, but it's definitely been entered into the record as he now has more charges because of that. Another thing that is ridiculous is that he has tried to buy witnesses, aka he's tried to pay escorts to testify at his hearings.
Hell yeah.
Saying that he was having affairs with them as well to bolster the case that his wife committed suicide because she was so devastated by the number of affairs that her husband was having.
Well, it makes sense to me that his practice went under.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the most stand-up kind of guy. I guess there's a lot of weird charges on people's bills from the dentist office.
Well, he seems like a fucking idiot.
I just folks, if you ever get charged for potassium cyanide on your fucking dentist bill, it's time to contact police.
Exactly. Yes.
So anyways, because of these crazy things that have happened, his legal team, who had been working with him for the past year, so this happened in March of 2023, we're almost 2 years later, a year and a half into the case, his legal team drops him out of nowhere, saying that there's irreconcilable differences, meaning he's a fucking nutcase and is doing all this shit while in jail, which is definitely hurting his case. And his lawyers are like, dude, we straight up don't want to be represented. He does have a new law firm that has just now, like as of 2 weeks ago, picked him up. But the case has been postponed because of this, because his new legal team has requested to be brought up to speed on the case. So we will update on anything that happens with this case, but it's just like one of the more ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my entire life. Not just like, yes, the original case is like pretty bad, but I feel like it's run of the mill for poisonings. Like, oh yeah, I'm just a guy and just trying to kill my wife so I can go off with another girl. I feel like that's pretty standard as far as poisoning murderers go. But then he's in jail. He's trying to pay people to kill the cops. And he's also trying to like tamper with witnesses to testify on his behalf. And it's all proven too. So we'll see what happens with him. But my guess is he's going to jail for a long time.
Yeah. You know what I just realized right now?
What?
I think you're on this is the craziest story in my whole entire life slot.
You think so?
Yeah. From someone that like edits this podcast, I do a lot of horror news, and I hear a lot of, this is the craziest story I've ever heard of.
Oh.
And I was like, man, deja vu. And I was like,
do you not think this is a crazy story?
I do think it's a crazy story, but I don't think
you want me to tone down the hyperbole?
No.
It's a little hyperbolic. Maybe it's a little over the top.
No. I just think that this is the craziest story of my life slot. You say that willy-nilly instead of really thinking that this is your craziest story. I, yes, do think this is a crazy story, but it sounds just like every other murder podcast that I listen to once a week kind of story.
No, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it.
I know, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. You got all quiet. Wait.
What do you want me to say?
I just realized it right now. Maybe just figure out what really is the craziest story you've ever heard, and then say that instead of every single
Miracle 1980.
Oh, the hockey?
Yep.
Oh,
crazy story.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah.
That is a crazy story.
Yep.
Crazier than...
Did you hear? Speaking of Miracle 1980. All right. So I saw this in an interview that they did on Spittin' Chicklets, is that the Russian hockey team played the U.S. earlier in that Olympic tournament and like absolutely crushed them. So the night before the finals, the Russian women's figure skating team had just won the gold medal. Mm-hmm. And so they all went in and they got hammered. And apparently, like Tretiak, like the most amazing goaltender of the era, could barely even see the puck. How hungover he was.
That's what I would say if I lost too.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
Crazy story, right?
That is
Is that the craziest story you've ever heard?
It could be up there.
It could be.
I'm not going to say it because, I don't know that.
All right. Well, I think it's time to hear your crazy story. What do you got for us this week, James?
So they found another body in Ladybird Lake.
We're going back to Texas?
We're going back to Texas. This ain't Texas. This is Beyonce says.
I know. But from down.
You can't. She's going to jail because of P. Diddy, though. So.
I heard about this, like that, like she's maybe like the queen bee.
We don't know. We can talk about that another time.
We should talk.
Let's talk about Ladybird Lake.
Well, we can talk about it now because like I don't have any information on it, so we can just.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it was a crazy thing, right?
I want to talk about my thing. So
what do you got?
There on December 1st, another body was found in the lake.
Male.
Yep.
28.
Nope. This one was found 73-year-old.
Oh.
Tyling Nugent. And he was.
It'll be pronounced Ngayan.
Oh. No, that's Nugent.
That's
like
it's not like Ted Nugent.
No, that's Nugent, dumb shit. You don't have to, every time I mispronounce something, like, talk down like I'm an idiot. You do this all the time. So many.
You just made fun of me for saying that this is the craziest.
Well, that's different.
I didn't realize that we weren't allowed to criticize how we were talking.
We are allowed to, but we're also allowed to be defensive.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
An innocent life was murdered, and you're just focusing on...
Well, we don't know that. We don't know anything about this person, do we?
No.
Do you know they're innocent?
No. I know that they cleared it off as like an accident. Just like all the
Well, again.
Yeah. And that's all the information on it.
I want to know how many smiley faces are laying around Ladybird Lake, dude.
You should have to go.
I don't think we should go. It sounds like it's not a good place to go.
What if you go out drinking by yourself on 6th Street?
It's how many smiley faces?
I'll know here, and I'll be like in disguise.
Oh,
somewhere else. And you're going to be like,
James,
I'm having a good time. I just got done with it.
No one will even know you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be a totally different guy.
I won't know where to go. No. And also my contacts.
Be like Clark Kent.
Exactly.
Like, hey, who's that random guy that
who's this person I know?
isn't following that other guy, weirdly running into things
Yeah.
as he goes along?
We're going to set you.
I'm
I'm going to use you as bait, but I'm going to save you.
Killer fishing, dude.
We're going killer fishing. That's all I really had. They found another body, and they're still claiming that it is just an accident.
How?
So that's 14 bodies.
And how much time?
I don't remember.
Oh my god. It's like 10 years though.
Yeah, I want to say.
That's
all the time.
Drain the lake.
Can you do that?
Yeah, dude.
You pull the plug?
Yeah. How do you think that's how it
You
works?
just grab, what, you grab a scoop?
You just pump it down to the Gulf of America, dude.
With what?
Water pumps. Hoses.
Can they do that?
You didn't even acknowledge my cool Gulf of America joke. That has a good ring to it, doesn't it? Cutting edge. You were,
as the kids say, unhinged. Look, it looks like Christmas. Yay. Wow.
Oh, Christmases.
Christmas sounds here. That's all I really had, unless you want to talk about what happened last week with all the terrorist attacks.
Are they being ruled as terrorist attacks too?
Both of them.
I'm honestly still a little hung up on the Luigi Mangione thing being classified as terrorist acts.
Why? Because he shot someone blatantly in the back.
I mean, I haven't seen the police report. Did he shoot him in the back?
Yeah, he shot in the back.
That's not very nice.
It's not nice at all.
You should have shot him in the face.
I thought it was a metaphor because his back was hurt.
Who's got back pain now?
I did also hear from your mom's house that Luigi Mangione is possibly a bisexual, and that's a big deal.
Why would that matter at all?
I don't know, because people make those kind of things.
He's a good enough looking dude. He can bang anyone he wants.
He's chiseled.
Good for him.
It's like a rock star. We just bangs.
Hey, why limit yourself?
Exactly.
Good for him. He's gonna have a fucking kick-ass time in whichever jail he ends up.
He's gonna have tons of pen pals.
He could literally publish all the letters he gets and probably make more money than his family has made already.
True. Yeah, so
You're welcome for the career advice.
So, do you want to talk about the terrorist attacks that happened in New Orleans and Vegas and how they're going to claim that they're tied to each other?
I've seen lots of evidence both ways
Mhm.
that they maybe are tied together, that they are definitely not tied together. I don't have a ton of information either way. Like we were kind of saying, like it seems that both of these have been politically manipulated to whichever political belief you're subscribing to, which is maybe the best thing that could have happened. Because if it was just like so dominant one way, then one side would actually have like a stronghold on it. But when it's just so convoluted and no one knows what the fuck is going on, and everyone's claiming that it's the left, and then everyone's claiming that it's the right, and then they're like the moderates in the middle are like, what the fuck? He was one of us? And then like, then everyone's shit out of luck, and that's the kind of conspiracy stories that I like.
Yeah. I think
I don't have any information. I'd love for you to like go into it.
the only thing I think that they had was they both were highly decorated in the army.
Okay.
They both fought in Afghanistan, and they both used the same car rental company,
Oh, I did hear it.
Turo.
Turo. I was gonna say Timu, but that's not right.
No, that's like
I didn't
where
say
you
that.
buy.
Grab that.
That's where you buy your girlfriend's presents for Christmas.
Yeah.
Temu.
Yep. No, that's wish.com.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome.
I wish I bought her a present.
But yeah, I don't know. I've seen just like some reports like those are like the facts of the case. Anything else is just conjecture, and I don't think that there's like a ton to even talk about it.
No, I think everything's hearsay, like you were saying.
Yeah.
I think one of them was completely devastating.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Oh, for sure.
And then I think the one in Vegas was just the guy shot himself and then blew up in his Cybertruck outside of the Trump Tower, which this one is being linked to the government, saying that they hoaxed it. Which
why?
Because I think like blaming the Democrats, saying that they were trying to blow up Trump's tower.
With fireworks?
No, the fucking Tesla truck. It didn't work.
The thing doesn't even run on gas.
Well, it blows up though.
I know.
It did.
I mean, it had like some very like small incendiary devices inside of it, but one, it doesn't run on gas, and two, it was filled with fireworks.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Yeah, no, I'm not even like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at just like
It's
that
okay.
story.
You can laugh at me. It is very silly. Well, that's all I have to say about that. We don't really know much about it. I just wanted to talk about it because, it kind of did happen last week.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's where the one in New Orleans is like just so sad.
What the fuck, yeah. Like just more and more shit.
Especially like with the bowl game down there, like everyone is like down there to have, a good time of their lives, and to like have those cut short by something stupid, like someone just deciding to fucking drive around the barrier and run people over. Like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yep.
Right in his fucking face.
And then he was gunned down to like by police.
Yeah.
It's like death by cop. Okay. Well, that's a fucking bummer.
That's a really bummer.
The one in Vegas didn't really like have a whole lot, because that would have been like a whole lot for the nation to handle.
2 in a row? Tuesday daisies?
Yeah. Yeah. Because the one in Vegas is kind of like, it's almost silly. I know that like one guy died and that there were some people that were injured, correct? But no other fatalities other than the driver. I don't know.
I prefer that one.
If I had to pick between the two to happen again, I'd probably pick that one too for sure.
Yeah.
I'd have to wait for a bit, but like.
Yeah, for sure.
No, okay.
Sorry, all jokes aside. Moving on, I think we go into our horror news.
Yeah, but what do you got for it?
What do you got for us? You always go first, sir.
I don't really have a whole lot. I was going to kind of let you lead the way with Black Phone 2.
Oh, why would you not say lead the way? Why don't you talk about Black Phone 2? And we'll start over.
You have the whole thing.
I don't.
You didn't write anything down?
I will never write anything down. What do you mean? I just wanted to talk to you.
That's fair.
I guess I'll go, even though you just like spoiled everything and like didn't have a good note on it. So I'll save us. You're welcome.
My outline says I forget.
Here it is. It's because you spend
horror news. I forget.
So they just announced that they're going to make a Black Phone 2.
Yep.
With the original cast. And that's it. But the thing is, to me, do you think a sequel needed to be made of this movie?
Okay. Thank you for introducing that, because I did do some research, but I didn't have anything written down, so I didn't know how to bring it in here. So I did check out this interview. So right after Black Phone was made, they were pitched to the director. The Blumhouse group pretty much was like, hey, is there a possibility of a sequel for this? Obviously, it was a massive financial success for the company.
Ethan Hawke ruled, dude.
Yep. The movie was great, and it was also like a huge blockbuster movie. So the company obviously was like, hey, what are the chances that we get, a sequel to this? And the director came and said, I'm not totally sure if I'm interested in that. So the original Black Phone was written by Joe Hill. Do you know who Joe Hill is?
No.
He's Stephen King's son.
Why is his last name not King then?
Huh?
So why is his last name not King?
Name.
Which one?
Joe Hill.
Joe Hill is?
Mm-hmm.
Or Stephen King?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Maybe they're both pen names.
I'm not sure. But Joe Hill is 100% a pen name.
Sorry, I'm fixating on that
thing.
part. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're losing. Yeah, you're catching the wrong wave here.
Far out.
So Joe Hill actually. So right after that director had the conversation with Blumhouse about doing a sequel, Joe Hill actually said that he had seen the movie and really liked it, and said that he had actually had ideas to write a second story about Black Phone.
The director.
No. Yes, Joe Hill writes the director, saying, hey, I really appreciate what you did with my short story that I had written. I have these ideas for a second, a sequel pretty much. And so from what I can understand, this movie is written again with the original writer of Black Phone, Joe Hill, who wrote the short story that the movie was adapted out of. He had already had a whole kind of like idea of how he was going to make a follow-up, like short story to this film, or to that story that he had written originally. So I'm excited by that, because it doesn't mean that it's just going to be like a pump up the money kind of grab by Blumhouse to just make a sequel.
No.
It's going to fucking suck.
That's
the writer that wrote it is involved.
And he got inspired from. He got inspired by how well the movie is.
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
That was great news.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing.
As far as the other news, I don't know exactly like what exactly we think is going to be, they're bringing back the original cast. So like, I thought when I first heard of it that maybe it was going to be the origin story of Black Phone, or like of the grabber is what they refer to him as, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But with Ethan Hawke in it, I don't think that would be the case. They can't put him in fucking like high school or like even earlier. I mean, I guess they could make him younger, like in his 30s or something like that. But, I think that my guess would be he's somehow, it's like, I got a lot of the Shining vibes from Black Phone, like the communication with the dead.
Yeah.
And like these like weird spirits being able to communicate with certain people. And so I kind of see it as, even though the grabber is dead in the movie, he's somehow able to communicate with the kid, because it's also apparently supposed to be like where the first one was like a middle school like coming of age story. This is a high school age coming of age story.
The same kid. Okay.
I think so, but that's not confirmed either. I'm guessing because it's the same kid that's cast, right?
As you said, all original casts. Because I thought they would do, like you said, like an origin story, like explaining all the kid that like called him on the phone. That would make sense to me.
I did see, well, just because it's so early and it took a little bit of parsing through to like find not like.
What's this word you said? Parsing?
Yeah. Like digging through. There's a lot of like fake Black Phone 2 trailers that have been made. And I like honestly got into a couple of them. I was like, man, this is a fucking crazy story. How is all this taking place in one movie? I was like, God damn it. I didn't realize that all of these were fake.
Yeah, I got you again, dude.
Yes, they got me really good. It happened. It was literally, it took 3 different fucking trailers for me to be like, wait a minute. There isn't a trailer that's been made yet. Son of a bitch.
Something to bring that up.
So that's, I don't know. I'm excited for Black Phone 2. The first one was so fucking cool.
I really like it.
Really good story.
Say less. I'm into it too. So they did release a trailer for a movie coming out next month. I don't know if you've heard of this movie called Hard Eyes.
What is it called?
Heart Eyes.
Heart Eye?
Yep.
No.
So
I know nothing about this.
So it's about a serial killer that comes out once a year on Valentine's Day. And he wears a mask that has like the emoji hearts, like, you know, like you when you send like the hard eyes on Instagram or like
it's on your
phone. It's like dark. It kind of reminded me. Have you seen the Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman with like the Riddler as like a really taped face and it's dark? You only see his glasses.
I don't know if I have.
Oh, so it's like a really dark mask, but then pink heart eyes.
Okay.
And there's a couple people that are like, I guess people on the internet are like, this is stupid. Like, why would they make this emoji mask?
Yeah.
But then you go into this trailer and he destroys people. Like, it's like no couple safe.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the song.
Is that what it says? Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
So what it's going to be is he's like a Cupid or like an anti-Cupid where he goes and finds couples.
He doesn't want them to be together.
And there's so much
this sounds like, I mean, I hate to, you said gore?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's brutal.
Oh, it's brutal as fuck.
It just sounds like some incel that like is just super mad that people are getting laid.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. This is serial killer.
Art.
So it is from the producers of the last 3 Scream movies.
Okay.
And
directors or producers?
Producers.
Okay.
Not director. I don't remember the director. I just watched the trailer yesterday. And then I know it's being done by Spyglass.
Okay.
Who did Thanksgiving.
I mean, it's a big studio behind it. So it's not just going to be like funny little.
Yeah. They did the last 3 Screams.
Yeah.
They did, like I said, Thanksgiving. So it'd be cool if they did Thanksgiving and a Hard Eyes. Cool, yeah.
What's your No, you're just stuck on the
universe.
You're just thinking that all these serial killers are gonna show up and they're just gonna like fucking. It's gonna be like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where they all just show up, like all the winners show up. Like,
yeah, that'd be sick as shit. Well, anywho, this movie looks awesome, and it
sounds fun.
Yes,
I would say that.
I'm not gonna like go out and I'm not gonna leave the theater inspired or anything. But so it comes out February 7th.
Love that. I love that it's just a little before Halloween because fuck it, some of us are
Same
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Some of us are fucking busy. All right, I'd like to catch it by Valentine's.
Well, judging by the movie theater in Steamboat Springs,
we're just not even
going to be able to see it until
if it doesn't have Sonic in it, we're not getting it.
Or Oh, sorry, Moana 2 is still here. That shit's been out for 4 months. That's a crack on you, Steamboat Springs.
Get it together.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Whoa.
That was cool, right?
Flip.
It was cool. I did not.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I did, dude.
Whoa.
That is our segue into we're done with horror news.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about
just
our movies. Yeah.
Horror news.
We're here.
AKA, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of the year. We're doing the top 5 horror movies.
Our personal. So you're going to do your personal.
Yes.
I'm going to do my personal.
Yep.
How do you want to do this?
We spoke a little bit about this. We're going to list 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to list 6 movies in no particular order to each other. And we have to guess. So we're going to do top 5 and then 1 honorable mention. Didn't quite make the list, but it's something that maybe is worth checking out.
And you have to guess. I have to guess what your top 5 is, and then you have to guess what my top 5 is.
Yes.
Cool. I'm into this.
Should we get some paper or something to write things down? Or
no, I know mine.
You know, well, I know you know yours. I also know mine. Do you know what mine are?
I don't.
Do you want to remember them?
No, I'll just ask you because I don't have any paper.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you have any paper?
No, I mean I got paper.
Oh, I'm just like, it's like that joke about duck food. Have you heard that? The duck goes into the grocery store.
Got any grapes?
Yeah, you got any grapes? No, we don't serve ducks here. Leave. It was like, all right. You got any grapes? He's like, no, if you come back, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. Comes in the next day, got any nails? Nope. All right, got any grapes?
Pretty much. Sure enough.
I say we raw dog this. We don't have to write everything.
All right. You're right.
Let's do this shit.
All right, I write it down.
I know.
I forget.
You overthink. That's what you do. And I
Become an overthinker.
You overthink.
Forgetter.
You overthink and I underthink. That's why we work so well together.
At least someone's thinking.
Right? I don't know. We'll see.
All right. You going to rock, paper, scissors?
Sure.
All right.
I'm not going to look.
Cut you up, dude. All right, you go first.
Okay.
What are your top 6?
Here are my
Give me your 6.
Long legs. Heredit. Nosferatu. Smile 2. Abigail. True Detective. Night Country.
All right. You ready for my 5? Or my 6, I guess? Or do you want me to go with your...
Why don't you guess mine?
Okay. So, well, I'm going to guess your 5.
Yeah.
And then we'll go down. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to guess that your 5 is going to be Abigail.
Number 5 is Abigail. Okay.
This is going to work.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So, my 6, I have Oddity, Long Legs, In a Violent Nature, True Detective, Night Country, Mads, and The Substance.
Okay.
Okay. What is your guess for my number 5?
I didn't even know you watched any of these movies. Okay, so I'm guessing your 5 is Long Legs.
Okay. Am I correct?
No.
With your 5?
No.
Okay. You were correct with my 5. So you want me to go first since you nailed it? All right. Long Legs is going to be my number 5 in the year 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Director, Oz Perkins. Key actors are going to be obviously Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe. It's going to be a police procedural horror.
Wait, did you write
actually cool.
entire stories about every one of these? Because I didn't.
Just have like general information, brief synopsis, and why I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. As always.
That's fair.
That's what I always do.
That's fair.
You always write a whole bunch, and I do nothing.
It's okay, dude.
Okay.
It's okay. So Long Legs is a horror movie set in the 1990s and follows FBI agent Lee Parker, a.k.a. Micah Monroe, as she investigates a series of occult-related murders in Oregon. Each crime scene is marked by a cryptic note signed Long Legs, and Lee Harker must use her unique psychic abilities to track down the elusive killer, Nicolas Cage. Why? I love this movie. I love Long Legs. It has this like dreadful feeling that kind of carries the entire way through the movie. There's this doom and gloom feel. I'm a fan of like, I don't want to say straight up police procedurals. Grew up watching mostly like Law and Order and shit like that. And those are like a little cut and paste for my taste at this age. But I like to see those police procedurals that like if there's an investigation and it's someone digging at the truth and like trying to find their way through. And I thought that this film was really good at, finding a blend between something that is totally off base for a police procedural and still kind of following some guidelines of how an investigation type story goes. There was also just like some really creepy like images and cinematography. Mostly Nicolas Cage is involved. His acting was phenomenal, as well as Mike Monroe had some pretty cool acting where no spoilers. Are we doing spoilers?
Sure.
I was going to do spoilers, but we can do whatever. Mike Monroe is also a little bit off, and going back through and watching it the second time, I liked it a lot more than I did the first time. You get to see that Micah Monroe is like a little bit different because of her like psychic abilities and how she talks with people that are in the movie. You kind of see that like this is not like a normal style person. She definitely has some weird quirks, and I think that the acting was really subtle that I didn't even realize it so much the first time, but I definitely picked up on it in the second time after knowing what the story was. I thought that it was fantastic acting, really cool. I got a little off put by the turn near the end of the movie the first time I watched it, but watching it the second time, I actually really appreciated it.
All right, your 5.
Yep.
Long legs. My 5 was
What?
not. My 5 was not Abigail. Would you like to know what my 5 was?
It's gonna be Night Country.
It is Night Country.
Yeah.
I know. I don't.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just tell you why I ranked it 5.
Yeah.
I ranked it 5 because I did really like it. I thought I really liked the ties to the first season.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it really got lost in somewhere in like episode 2 or 3 where it was no longer kind of tying itself in.
Yeah.
And I thought it might have almost been better if they tied it into the first season towards the end of the episodes instead of right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I get they hooked us in
For sure.
right in the beginning.
Yep.
And then they slowly drifted us in. It's like, wait, it's not going to be like this paranormal or like Indian ancestry murder. It's just going to be regular people murdering other people.
Yeah.
When you made me think that something was going to happen.
There was going to be.
And we've also talked about that. That's what they've done through the whole True Detective series.
For sure.
But that's why it's my number 5.
The mystery is always better than the truth.
Exactly.
And we went through like a lot of like what worked for the series and what didn't. And I think that we definitely hammered down that point that like they sold us so hard on it being like the first one and tying in so hard to the first one. And the first, like, I'd say like the first episode for sure, but also the second episode, I think there was a lot of ties, like Easter eggs that were hidden in plain sight for people that are fans of the first season. That I think, like you're saying, like it kind of did itself a disservice because it tied itself too close to maybe one of the best TV series ever made.
Exactly.
Which is obviously going to like make it comparable to that, and you're not going to compare to it. It's just
if you're going to go out, get ready.
Yep, exactly.
What's you want to guess your 4? Or you want to tell me your 4?
You can guess my 4.
Okay, let me see them again because these are movies I've never seen. I'm gonna go Oddity.
Okay,
is it?
That is incorrect.
Hey, bummer.
I think that your 4 is going to be Abigail.
It is.
Okay.
Would you like?
I think you get to go first,
yeah,
because I got yours right.
So, we also, if you've been a fan of this podcast for a while, we did our first movie review where we were going to try to do just separate episodes where we just did movie reviews, and then we really decided that we don't have enough time to watch movies together and shit like that. So that wasn't really going to work out. So we were just going to So we're just going to use it as regular episodes going forward. But we did a we told you the whole damn story of this movie.
And I had a fucking blast.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
And if you want to hear more about what this movie's about, please go back and listen to it. Long story short, this is about a girl who is a vampire, who her dad is someone like Dracula.
He's Lestat,
which is,
I don't know,
higher up. Let's just call it, it's higher up.
Versions of Lestat, but I know that he's a big one.
He's a big vampire.
One of the originals.
And he hires these people acting like they were going to kidnap her, but really it was for her own amusement to play with these people and then murder them. I love this movie because it was so straightforward. It was just, I'm going to eat the shit out of you, beat the shit out of you, and I'm going to dance the whole time doing it.
Yep.
Plot wasn't, it wasn't there. Like, anytime there wasn't Anna or Abigail, like, fighting or killing someone, it was, like, very cheesy.
Little dragon.
Very over the top, like, just like what you've heard from every other, like, action movie.
Yep.
Because I would say this isn't a horror movie. This is a fucking action.
I would agree with that. I think that there's, like, certainly some tinges, but there's vampires and there's, like, some badass kills that make it, like, thriller-ish.
Exactly.
Some good, like, jumps here and there that definitely get at you, but
like one. There was one.
I guess,
jump.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of jump scares.
Yeah, there was one at the beginning with that dude that we made fun of, and then we found out he died.
Yeah.
of drug.
Yeah, and he was, which is funny because like the villain isn't even the jump scare in that.
No,
He's the jump
he's the
scare.
jump scare.
I don't have this movie on my list, just pretty much for what you mentioned. Like it's a little cookie cutter. It's following some pretty basic tropes, but I will give you that this movie was super fun. It was funny. It felt like a good time horror movie.
Exactly.
You know,
That's
like
why
I
it's
like
online.
for sure can agree with that. My number 4. Do you want to try guessing one more time?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, Night Country.
Yeah,
Yep.
close.
We did make a caveat just so everyone knows. We had to pick one TV show to be involved with the top 5.
When you said that too, I knew we would both choose that.
You know, I was looking. There's a couple ones in like I don't even have them in like honorable mention, so I don't even know if I should go into it. There was a couple different shows that I was like, oh, that could be good. That could be good. I know you watch Grotesquerie. The Creep tapes are phenomenal, worth checking out. But yeah, the Menendez story was really good too. But I thought that True Detective was just way better than those, and that all the other movies were just. I don't think we need to go into True Detective too much because we already kind of covered it. But
True.
it'll be my number 4.
Detective.
Yep. All right, we're down to 3.
Yeah.
I think.
Gas goes there, fucker.
All right, you're 3. Can you go back through your 4 that you have left?
I have Long Legs.
Okay.
I have Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
I have Smile too.
Yeah.
And I have Heretic.
Heretic. I'm gonna go with Long Legs here in the 3 spot. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Your turn to guess.
Okay, tell me yours.
All right. So I have leftover. I have Oddity. I have In a Violent Nature. I have Mads, and I have The Substance.
I'm going with Oddity again.
It is Oddity.
Okay.
All right. So have you seen Oddity?
No, I don't even know what it's about. I've never.
So
Can I pull up a picture?
yes, please do, because the picture is fantastic. So pretty much,
What's it on?
I believe I watched it on Amazon. Well, so you have it. I mean, did you keep your Shudder subscription?
Yes, but not because I remember it. Because Rocket Money didn't tell me to cancel it.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
it's probably the best money I've ever spent on a subscription.
Oh, I remember that.
It's Amazon Prime plus AMC with AMC Plus attached.
Oh, it's been great. There's so much horror.
It's phenomenal, and it's like I think it's only like an extra like $5 or something like that.
Now it's $8.
Is it? Well, either way, you get all of AMC Plus, and you get all of Shudder, and you get.
You know what? You know what else costs $8? A goddamn package of gum. So
Yeah.
Or you can watch.
I'll skip a pack of gum.
Yeah, I'll have bad breath for.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking everyone else can suck it up. So, Oddity is, I would say, it's a thriller. It's a supernatural horror kind of movie. It follows this lady Darcy, who is a blind medium, and
A medium?
I don't think that's the word.
Is that not politically correct to call her a bleedium?
A blindium?
A bleedium.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, we'll call her a bleedium, I guess. That's
Or a blindium.
a blind medium. I like blind medium better, actually. So follows this lady who is grieving the death of her twin sister and trying to get to the bottom of how she was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
On a wooden mannequin from her collection. So she owns this like oddities shop. And there's this wooden mannequin that she brings over to the house that her sister was murdered in. And it helps her uncover the truth about her sister's murder, and chaos ensues. She has these like, she can't see anything obviously, so like she feels the oddities act as her like sensory thing to the outside world. It's a very strange movie, but I would say it's like, I'm surprised that it didn't get the recognition that I feel like deserved. It was a very good movie. I think that it could have been released in any of the major production houses. Like it feels like a Blumhouse film, or like any of these big, especially like horror type studios.
I'm gonna just see right now what it was. Who made it?
So it's directed by this guy David McCarthy. It is only his second movie. It's an Irish indie.
That's why.
There's a couple reasons why I love this movie. It has this, it seems to be the theme of this year is like impending doom and gloom. and like suspense needs to be like the key driving factor. And there's all these movies that I feel like were pretty slow burns. Long Legs, I felt like was a pretty slow burn. Like doesn't things don't move super fast, but like they build suspense. There's this wooden mannequin, and I don't know if you saw the pictures of it, but it's fucking the creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen.
No, I didn't see it.
Ever.
Ever. This is the craziest story I've ever heard.
It's really creepy though. So, anyways, but it's like this wooden mannequin, and then the face is just like it's a screaming face, and it's in all of these different scenes, and you're just waiting. You know that this mannequin is eventually going to come into play sometime during this movie, but it just keeps waiting and keeps dragging along and waiting, but like not like in a way that you're like kind of getting bored of it. All these other things are happening, but the mannequin just keeps kind of appearing in all these different scenes, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And it has some of like, because it's drawn out, there are some very good, like, not, I don't exactly know, like I would call them like rewarding jump screens versus like petty jump screens. Like I saw like a petty jump screen is like when a bird slams into a window and it really doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the story. But like a rewarding jump screen is like, oh, like you walked around the corner and all of a sudden like this mannequin is like right in your face. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, how did that thing even move? Kind of thing.
That makes sense.
It was very, like, I definitely can say it's one of the scarier movies of 2024. And it just does such a good job, like I mentioned, with this mannequin of just drawing out this doom and gloom and this like spine tingling feeling that there's something wrong and that eventually it's going to happen. And it has a really like a nice ending. I think that it's a number 3 because the story's a little bit predictable, but I like the movie in general. It was very, very good.
Cool.
Please watch it.
I will.
Yep.
You said it's probably on. You said it's on Amazon Prime, connected to
AMC Plus, connected to Shudder.
Connected to Shudder.
I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. All right, so
would you care to hear my 3 then? Since
you
already guessed. You already guessed. Do you want to guess again?
Man, it wasn't Long Legs.
No.
It's gonna be one more time.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you.
You just go for it.
Yeah. Instead of it's Heretic.
Mm-hmm. That was the other one.
Nailed it.
Yep. Sweet. I don't know anything about this movie. Is it the one with like the Mormons that come to the door or something like that?
The ones that with the Mormons that come to,
or is Jehovah's Witness?
It's Mormons.
Okay.
It's Mormons. So these Mormons come to the door of Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
I want to say
what
this is
guy.
He is. But I want to say this is one of his first horror movies.
Huh.
And I would say he is the highlight of this movie.
I'd assume so.
He's phenomenal.
Really?
There's also the girl from Yellow Jackets is in it.
There's a lot of girls in Yellow Jackets.
She's the girl that plays... think of her name. I wanted to say Selma Blair, but that's not it. It's the girl that... She has a punk band.
Well, I know who you're talking about, actually. I don't know who that chick is, but I'd recognize.
Check, hold up real quick. Yellow Jacket. She's like... in Old School, she's the one that like is cheating on Luke Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm really sorry.
She's super fucking hammered.
No, she just like sleeps with. She's like having a threesome when he was like out of town. Where are you? Oh, Juliette Lewis. Yeah, Juliette Lewis.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot that she was even in that show.
So the girl that plays Juliette Lewis, like younger, she's one of the Mormons.
Okay.
And it's made by A24, which usually puts out bangers, other than like I saw the TV Glow.
Still holding that one.
Yes. And I think the reason why I put it so high is because of Hugh Grant and how like well he kind of like just like dissects religion to these girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a philosophical horror.
Yeah. So they basically, he locks them in his house and then just starts explaining.
Wait, they're girl missionaries?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he starts explaining why, like, religion is flawed.
Is that real though? Girl missionaries?
Yes. I don't know. You're making me lose my train of thought here.
Anyways,
Yeah.
he just sits them down, locks them in.
Yes. The reason why it's not higher is because it kind of gets pretty predictable and like kind of what happens.
Okay.
I won't really spoil it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. So you're just saying like, watch this movie because Hugh Grant is fucking badass.
Yeah, and it's a really good time.
And I'm sure like I also like am a big fan of like philosophical type horror where like you see like contemplate like, oh, what is the purpose of all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, and I won't tell you the ending because that'll kind of like spoil a bunch of it for you, like the good parts. But please watch it. It's not on stream.
Yeah, you went and saw this from the theaters.
I did.
Yep. I also think that like probably helps.
It does. That's why a lot of these movies that I have on my list are from theaters.
Yeah.
But a lot of yours are from streaming because of theaters.
I did get to see Long Legs in theaters, and something that like definitely helped boost the ratings was because like it was definitely like the most excited I've been to go see a movie.
Yes.
Long time. And I also felt that from the people that were also in the theater. Like as soon as that movie started, Long Legs, people were like, yo, shut the fuck up. This movie's about to start. And I think that like the marketing maybe hurt the actual review of the movie, but it definitely fucking made people pay attention to horror.
It made
way more than any other movie that came out.
I disagree. I think that they had killer advertisements. They got a lot of us very excited.
Yeah.
But I don't think it had as much as one of the other movies of the year that would go into.
That's fair.
Might be on.
Yeah. All right.
Two. On two.
Yep, we're on to number 2. What do you think is my number 2? I have The Substance, I have Mads, and I have In a Violent Nature.
I'm going with In a Violent Nature.
That's incorrect.
Shucks.
I think that yours is going to be one more time.
We have Smile, Long
Smile 2,
and then we have Nosferatu.
I'm gonna go with Long Legs at your 2 spot. It's not. Wow. Okay. Then it must be.
You want to go?
Smile 2.
It's Nosferatu.
Okay. All right. My second is going to be The Substance. I'll just go into The Substance because I think that this movie would have been a number 1 in any other year. Like, it's honestly... So it tells the story pretty much. There's this aging actress, Demi Moore, who is kind of feeling like she's aging and she's like an actress / now she's like a workout. I don't know what you want to call it, like a Cindy Crawford type video type workout thing.
Okay.
And she like kind of gets fired, sort of. And then she gets in a car crash like right after that. And through some weird things ends up getting an opportunity to try this substance that makes her younger and prettier and just a better version of herself. And to her, as a feigning actress in Hollywood, she's like a no-brainer. She definitely takes this. And while it helps her, it also has disastrous consequences. And I'm going to leave it kind of at that. Like I said, this movie, it was honestly a toss-up for the 1 and 2. It was so fucking good.
I know, I'm bummed that I haven't seen it yet.
It's one of the grossest fucking movies I've ever seen. That's not true. I've seen all of that. I Spit on Your Graves. So it's not anything like
Fear of Death.
But yeah, it's definitely, it's gross, but it's not gross to like wanting to turn away kind of thing. It just gives you that tingle that like just makes you feel gross watching it, and it makes you feel icky. but not over the top. It had an incredible story. Maybe slightly predictable. As soon as you know what the premise is, like once you realize what the substance is, you're like, oh, I can see why this would be a problem. And it pretty much becomes the problem. So like the story maybe isn't the most like original creative thing, but it's also horror. So like we don't get a ton of like original stuff. The acting is, I mean, I know you mentioned that Demi Moore won her first Golden Globe.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Was
sure.
it? Yeah, for this, and it's not at all surprising. She was so fucking good, and like also, I have to give her major props because the balls that it took to fucking play this character in this story, like you're the aging actress that is like, I don't know how old Demi Moore is now, but she is this character.
60.
She's this character, and how well she played it, but also how hard she committed. It is a fantastic. She did so good. The other girl, Margaret Qualley, awesome. There are just like mountains of tits and boobs and butts in the movie.
You see Demi Moore's 6-year-old?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get to see Dennis Quaid being like absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of scenes that like I've seen them doing side by sides of kind of like horror homages, whether it's Psycho, The Shining, The Fly, like a couple like the director has direct, almost scene by scene like references to these classic horror movies that we've come to know. This guy, I have Coralie, I guess probably not even a guy, as a girl. Coralie Fargier, I think I said that right. I don't know for sure, but is a director to look out for. Extremely talented, and this movie would have been my number one if I didn't decide to pick this other one, because the other one is the coolest movie I've ever seen, but I'll get into that in a little bit.
So, Nosferatu is my second.
Is number 2. I did not expect this. I thought it was going to be 1, no question.
And I thought it was going to be number 1, no question.
Yep.
I went into the movie thinking it was going to be number 1,
no
question. And it's beautiful. It's exactly what you'd think from Robert Eggers.
Yep.
It's beautifully done. It's super well written.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. Other than I will...
It's hard to spoil it. I mean, like, we know the story.
That's exactly why it's not number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Because I knew, like...
You're not being surprised.
Almost every fucking second of this movie, I knew.
Yeah, okay.
And like, Avery's like, what? I'm like, oh, this. And I was like explaining everything because I knew.
Yeah.
And there was, I respected it, that it was very, Robert Eggers didn't feel like he had to like sway very far from the original. But instead, the parts that he added were very minute, but they still were like entertaining. And they didn't like deviate very far from the original.
They're almost like supplemental.
Yeah.
Like they're making the original Nosferatu story better so that the story itself is...
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
It wasn't like...
I can see why that would be like, you can't rank that as your number 1 because like you already know the story. It'd be silly to...
I went on feels a lot for my rankings.
Yeah.
And I like had to think of what movie really made like the biggest impact when I watched it.
Yeah.
And so Nosferatu, when I was like, wow, this is like exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. I thought it was going to be great. I thought it was going to be like beautifully done.
The best.
And it was.
Yeah. It just, you knew the story, so you weren't, and like, at the end of the day, it's horror. We're not film students dissecting this. We're just a couple dudes watching movies and fucking enjoying our time while watching them. I can see that, like, not being the number 1. I get it.
The only spoiler I have for you.
Yep.
Would you like to hear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You get to see Nosferatu's wiener.
You know what? I already knew that. I don't know why, but I saw like posts that the guy that plays Hutter has the prosthetic dog that was given to him by
I saw that.
what's his name?
I saw that too.
Bill
Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård. He gave him the fucking giant dick.
It's not giant. It's very average. It's very average.
Okay.
It's like, oh,
I assumed it was massive because, like, why would you gift that to someone? I don't know. Maybe he likes wieners.
maybe it looks bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks bigger in real life.
Yeah, dude. Camera out.
All right. Here it is.
All right.
Number one.
You're number one. I
You
have
wanna
two
go-
choices.
Do you want to go through our, just list our top
Yeah.
top 5 down to our number ones?
Yep. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have True Detective.
Yep.
I have Abigail.
Correct.
I have Heretic.
Okay.
I have Nosferatu.
Okay.
What is my number?
Your last two are Longlegs and Smile 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be picking Smile 2 as your number one movie of the year.
I think I cheated when I told you Feels.
No, you didn't.
Oh, really?
I just know you,
Yeah. Oh,
and like I know that. Yeah, you're not going to put Longlegs as your number one movie. That's why I kept guessing it so high because I was like, "There's no way that this is."
you
me.
guessed it from 5, 4, and 3, and
Exactly. I was like, how, like, and I should have, like, I forgot that we were doing the honorable mention because it's higher than the number 2 or 3.
it wasn't.
So
You literally guessed it 5, 4, 3.
I know. So it's like, fuck.
Is it long legs? I'm like, no. You're like, shit.
Long.
Is it long legs? No. Shit.
And I should have eventually been like, oh, it's his honorable mention, but I'm a dumb fuck, so I forgot.
Yes, it's Smile 2,
Sweet.
which is unpopular, and I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like it
I was not a fan.
at all.
I don't know. I think the movie itself, it was good, but I think that it's the problem that I had with Smile 2, and I think that you should go into why you liked it.
Mhm.
But my biggest problem with Smile 2 was that it felt like it was an in-between movie from the first to what will be the third, because there is obviously some crazy shit that's going to go on with Smile 3.
Almost like a second movie in like a 3-part.
But it's different though.
Why?
It's
Because
honestly, it's like it's written, to me, it was written as
a filler.
a transition to get from 1 to 3.
So you thought the original Smile was better?
I did like the original Smile better.
Oh.
Yeah. Tell me why you liked it.
I liked it because it's definitely the most anxious I've ever been watching a movie.
Really?
Yes. I felt for this woman
Yeah.
so much where I was just,
Because you've been a rock star.
no, I just lived my life with anxiety
I know.
ever. So the whole time I was very anxious.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude, just felt for this woman
For sure.
the whole time. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people are like, this is such a dumb, predictable ending. But no one predicted that ending.
I didn't think the ending was predictable.
No, I thought it was a great ending.
Yeah.
There's just gonna be a shit ton of people dying from
Mm-hmm.
it's like a plague.
Yep.
Kind of like
Exactly. But that's kind of what I saw. It's like
thing.
the thing from like going from like the one person that's experiencing it to like a couple people now are like getting it to now like it's like, you know, a mass thing. I saw it as like that transitionary movie, but I also see like the stakes were high the entirety of the movie. I don't know. I guess maybe a part of it was that I didn't really like the main character very much. Just with like her relationship with all of the people around her, I just didn't feel like she was a very likable character. Maybe that's why I didn't like it as much.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that
It plays like a really good like movie star, pop star.
For sure.
Like,
No,
pretty
you're surrounded
you know?
by people that are expecting things from you. And I can
Yeah.
see why that would be like, you're talking about like someone that's just surrounded with anxieties. Like, she's trying to mend this relationship with her like only real friend.
Yes.
And then there's all these other demands that are going on, whether it's actual family or it's, events that she has to go do or whatever. I got a little bit more lost when it started to be that what we were seeing wasn't real, and it wasn't just like a quick thing or two. It was like entire scenes were maybe not real.
Like her brutally murdering her.
Yeah.
Me too. I was
Those were like, what? I don't, and I don't understand why.
and also that what the fuck moment is kind of why I liked it.
Yeah, I can like, I'm not saying anything against like, no, you're wrong. I'm saying like,
No, I guess
these are what I felt, and it's why it was tough for me.
you didn't like.
I did not like it. Yeah, and I remember you telling me like, you gotta.
I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it wasn't even that long ago. You were like, you gotta fucking check this
I loved
out.
it.
Yeah, and I couldn't get into it, but like I know why. Like it's not a bad movie. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so I have In a Violent Nature, or do you want to go into that more on Smile Tube?
No, you're good.
We have In a Violent Nature and Mads.
I don't even know what Mads is,
Okay,
so I'm gonna go with Mads as your name.
Mads is my number one. It is, as I ended kind of like my talk about the substance, the most fun horror movie I can remember seeing in fucking years. And I don't necessarily know if it's a better horror movie than The Substance, but it is the coolest movie maybe I've ever seen. It follows this guy
right here.
That would be correct. It follows this. It starts off following this 18-year-old guy who is just graduated from high school. He is going to his dealer's house, doing some drugs, and then goes on and ends up picking up this incredibly like bandaged and like injured lady.
Okay.
Who like freaks the fuck out in the front seat of his car.
Okay.
And then the whole night goes totally crazy after them.
They go mad.
They go mad.
Okay.
I would describe this movie as Superbad meets Quarantine.
What?
So it's like these like young kids that are just pretty much just trying to get fucked up and go to a party
And have sex with
Yep.
Jules.
Yep.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it takes a turn to where like this contagion thing breaks out and they kind of like turn into like weird zombie people. Here's the thing though. The entire movie, I think it's like an hour and 37 minutes. You had the IMDb up still.
No, ma'am.
One shot.
The entire movie
The
is.
entire movie is shot in one scene.
I don't like that.
And it jumps from character to character as they like walk by each other at certain points. And it takes place not in like a room or in a house. It's across this entire town.
Okay.
I think the biggest reason you might not like it is because it's French.
Yeah.
So there's not very much dialogue in the entire movie. I'd say there's probably like 30, 40 lines of dialogue. Outside of like the first like couple minutes. It's so fucking good. You need to watch the movie. It is literally like, I could not look away from the screen while this movie was on. Like, I get it. We're in like the age where like, there's lots of things to distract us and we like, the laundry's going on or our phone's buzzing or whatever. I straight up could not look away from this movie. It is not a movie to watch when you're like laying in bed trying to fall asleep. You'll never fucking go to sleep. It is absolute chaos from the moment it starts until the very end of the movie. Fucking nuts. It was so much fun to watch. It's definitely one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And easily, I mean, it's not easily. It was a pretty tight contest with The Substance, but my favorite movie of 2024 will be Mads.
Did you just watch those two, like recently, too?
I did watch The Substance very recently. the last one that I watched recently will be my
Honorable mention.
honorable mention, In a Violent Nature,
Okay.
which was a really interesting. You've seen like you know about this movie.
I just
It follows the killer as he's going through and murdering all the kids that took his necklace off his mom's like gravesite or whatever. The movie was really cool. I am excited to see it done maybe a little bit better. The reason why I wanted to honorably mention it is because one, it's experimental, and I thought that it was really cool what they're doing with horror to kind of push the boundaries of it being just locked into like this traditional slasher genre, and also the kills in it. Have you seen it?
No,
In a Violent Nature?
I'm not.
So fucking, the kills are so brutal, like over the top, but like it's kind of what you want to see from a slasher movie. You just don't get to, because it's always the people that stumble upon the body whose like head is ripped through its stomach. It's like, how did that even fucking happen? But you get to see it happen in this movie. The kills are like the highlight of the entire movie, in my part. But like, it has a lot of cool aspects. There's a lot of juxtaposition between like fast paced and slow pace, so that the movie doesn't feel overwhelming on one side and it's not a slow drag on the other. The lore is like traditional. I'd say the storyline is pretty basic. There's not a whole lot to write home about there. But the movie itself was really cool.
No, I've really been meaning to watch it forever.
Yep.
It's just, it's been the other one that's like been on the back burner.
Yep.
Or something.
It's also AMC Plus. I went on a whole.
Also Shudder.
Yep. Shudder AMC Plus.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I guess we can't guess. My honorable mention was Long Legs.
It was.
And the only reason is because of how much hype.
Yep.
It was so hyped up that it fell to meet expectations, in my opinion.
My question is, have you watched it a second time?
No. Watch it again?
I would say watch it again. It's the only reason it made my top 5 and didn't just get thrown into the back burner. The story, just because I think that it was like, it caught me a little bit by surprise, the turn at the end of the movie. And I didn't know if I loved it or not, but going back through, knowing that that's coming, you kind of get to understand the movie in a little better way. I think that it was good, but I also think that there's a reason why I guessed it was going to be your 5 and your 4 and your 3, and then it was like,
Because you did.
because I thought it was going to, I mean, there's no way it's going to be your number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
So, I get it.
This opens me up to a great segue to a pitch I was going to have to you for the next episode. So, I mentioned about how I'm turning 40 in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, dude. Lordy.
Yeah, and we were going to skip probably next episode.
Yeah.
And going a month without doing an episode.
Drunk order.
So my proposition to you was, and this segues to Long Legs, because the director and writer of Long Legs has a movie coming out in 2 months.
Really?
Called Monkey.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Well, I suggest you look at that. Because my suggestion to you, or my proposal to you, is we do a top 5 movies we're looking forward to watching.
Okay.
In 2025.
I like that. There's so many good ones we've covered a lot, and every day I see another, like, what? Also, like, I maybe like a little, maybe my feed's a little fucked up, but like, they're like, oh, this movie's being remade, or this is being like refilmed, or this or that. But it's like every fucking day I feel like I see something new.
Horror's back, baby.
I don't think horror left. I think it was just laying in wait.
Well, I think it's popular.
It is popular.
We've just kind of been into it this whole time.
Yeah. It definitely is popular.
And people are like, oh, cool.
And people want to be edgy, dude.
Yeah. Like you said before.
This is my life. My life is not culture.
Well, that's all I have for you.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
I don't think we have to go through our top 5s again, because we went to our top 4s and we talked about number one. So
yeah, I mean, I would say like, yeah, I think we can
I think we did a great job.
knock through our top 5, or
Nah,
but I think we did back to our number 1. I think you're good.
I think we just go with thank you so much for, if this is your first episode listening, thank you so much for listening. If you've listened to a bunch of our podcasts, thank you so much for supporting us this whole time through 2024.
Yeah, man, we're up on damn near a year.
We had a lot of fun doing this, and we're really looking forward to the second year. So, like we always say, please like and subscribe, give us a follow, and most importantly, drink down those demons.
Also, speaking of top 5 movies, let us know what your guys' top 5 are. If they match, if they don't. If there's something we didn't even mention that you think we should have, that we didn't intentionally ignore because the movie sucked, please let us know. Guns. Finger guns. Bam, bam, bam. Well, I don't know why I'm doing. I'm doing scissors.